belt buckle trainer teaching you a better split besides chest and triceps. Watch this video. Let's review a typical bro split. We were getting some amazing advice from instructor Megan going over for guys when they come in for the assessment. If you're a hunkette or a lady, it's hard to sell dudes on working out with you for upper body days. So a strategy that she uses is helping them with their lower body. Do a leg day with hinging, squatting, unilateral, and that can complement their upper body stuff they're doing. But what we're going to do right now is dissect the typical bro split. It's hard to challenge. I'm not a giant dude, I'm 200 pounds, but if we're listening to Arnold and Jay Cutler and people who have been doing these splits for years, you're obviously going to keep on doing it because you think you're going to look like them. Well, you don't train hard enough, and two, they have so much steroids in their body. So the typical chest tri, in my opinion, is a terrible pairing because when we push, we have horizontal adduction of the humerus. The scapulas, if you're on the bench, are not moving very much, but you would have some protraction. And then you're going to have elbow extension, which is the triceps. So why would we do triceps at the end of a workout when they're already fatigued? Typical bro routine. Monday, every Monday is International Chest Day. 3x10 on bench, 3x10 on dumbbell incline, 3x10 on decline. Do some chest flies. Maybe between 12 and 15 total sets, maybe a hammer strength, something along those lines. And then we would go into triceps, skull crushers, 3x10, maybe some dips, maybe some reverse extensions. That's a terrible exercise, by the way, because the triceps do not have an impact on the radial ulnar joint. So when pronated, you're going to have more force production. Supinated, you're going to have less. Why? It's harder. Well, driving drunk is harder. Doesn't mean we should be doing it. So when it comes to triceps, pronated is superior. Biceps, there is an impact at the elbow. So when you supinate, you'll get more bicep activation. You're not going to get the peak by doing that more. That is false. People say that all the time. You have to pick better parents. It's all about genetics. There's nothing you can do to get more of a peak. That's all genetics. So a better pairing, in my opinion, is going to be doing chest with biceps. And then play around with the rep ranges. Even if you want to put on size, it's encouraged to get down into the 3 or 5 rep range for a set or two. And that's what we would call daily undulating periodization. So for example, bench press first. And another problem I have with this program is it's going to take between 90 to sometimes 120 minutes. For resting 2 minutes, which will probably be the minimal amount, 3, 4 more realistic, you go to the water cooler, you start looking at all the people in the gym, next thing you know, 5 minutes later, it's just not a realistic program. So if you have a guy who comes in and you're going to train him on just a push day, throw in some other muscles. I would also do almost like a CAA variation. I would do some biceps, and then I would do some core, some planks. So what I would do is I would ask them what bicep variation do they do not perform a lot, and then put that first to help strengthen it. So if it's easy bar and we don't get into maybe 3 to 5 reps, I'll do that first. Straight bar, I typically won't do the first one because that's just a lot of stress on the elbow from going pronated, benching heavy, and then going straight bar, curling heavy. It's not the end of the world, but it would probably be better to use the easy bars, just a lot friendlier on the joints. So bench press, I would do 3 by like an 8, 5, 3. So you do a couple warm-up sets, 8% is 8 reps, roughly 80%, 85%, and then get down to like a 90%. And then do your curls, and then do some planks, 3 rounds of that. So this is going to be more economical and a better overall program than doing 4 or 5 chest exercises and then doing 4 or 5 triceps. So we're going to hit chest and biceps. Second one, I'm all for the incline dumbbells. I like those. But again, now what I would do is I would do the rep range that I did not do prior. So here I'm 3 to 8 for the first one. So now I'll probably be doing like 8 to 12. So first set, do 8. I call that a waterfall set. You go heavier the first one and then drop it for your second set and then drop it for your third. Not confused with a drop set, which is doing 10 reps, dropping the weight and doing as many as you can with no rest. Round 1, choose a dumbbells for 8 reps. And then you go into another curl variation, maybe some Zotmans, curl, pronate, come down eccentrically for maybe 10 or so there. Second set, I would hit my 10. You can still do 10 on the curls, and then do 12. So then on the third one, what I would do, the chest is broken up into 3 regions. We have the upper region. What's this bone called? Clavicle, so clavicular region. Sternum, and the costal. So when we have adduction, it's going to be more the costal region, the block look. This part right here is going to be more sternal, so you're benching in your chest flies. When we have flexion, so when you do flies up here, or incline, that's going to be more upper. So if we have the sternal region, we're going to be stronger with the sternal than we would be with the incline because it's a smaller region of the chest. I like to go like this. 3 fingers going to the sternal region, 1 going to the clavicular region, 1 going to this region. So we're going to get a lot more engaged like a decline. But the decline is not as optimal because you're going to get more lats in there as well. So if you have bench, incline, I love hammer strength if you have access to a machine because you're taking out the scapulas and you're just getting horizontal abduction, really targeting that area. Why not throw in a superset here? So we got our tension out of the way. Remember the mechanisms for hypertrophy. Metabolic stress is the lowest and probably the least important. That's the S. T tension, that's the most important. And the total overall damage is taking what you did for that muscle. So do hammer strength. I'll do something probably 3 by, that's like 12, 15, 20. And then go into some chest fly variations. Let's do some 28s. Everyone does 7, 7, 7 for 21s. Do it 1 better. Do 7 half, 7 half, 7 partials in the middle, and then do 7 full range of motion. If you really want to get crazy, you do 35s by doing pronated at the end for 35 total repetitions. 3 rounds of that I would do, so again, you put the, say 3 plates, because that's what I use in the hammer. Do that for 12, and then chest flies, and then your 28s, resting 2 or 3 minutes. Now, total sets so far, we have 3 for bench, 3 for incline, 3 for hammer strength, but now we're getting a lot of damage because we're incorporating chest flies. Then I would do chest flies first on this last one. And I like to go heavier here. Most people don't go that heavy on chest flies because they don't know the proper form and they're probably on roids or whatever reason. It's a vulnerable area. I like to get down like to a 3 or 5 rep max down here. But obviously I'm fatigued, and so then I go right into a dumbbell press. So what that would look like is maybe for me, I'll grab 60s, I'll do 3, and they're hard. I get that third one, get it up there, then I'll turn and crank out AMRAP as many as I can with dumbbells because we're a lot stronger multi-jointed versus just the chest fly. And I'll usually just do that kind of for the end, and then I'll end off on a preacher variation. If you want to do standing, if you want to do seated, if you want to do a strict curl where you're on the wall so we're not rocking. And then I'll end off on some type of challenge for push-ups. Now, depending on your level, if you're a beginner, this is absolutely going to murder you. Do not do this. If you've been training for a while and your chest never gets sore, this would be appropriate. This is more intermediate. Someone who's been training for a while, you pick them off at the gym, you're chatting with them, they're bored of their chest routine. You add some variety in here. Always show them a new exercise. One of my favorite go-tos at the end, either push-ups for time or my favorite, bench press. Because people think once you do an exercise, you can't go back to it. If your favorite exercise is bench press, why not do it more? You could even do bench press 8-5-3, instead of doing incline, more bench press, but do it 8 to 15. And then here, instead of doing hammer strength, do more bench press if you love it. Bench press is not the best exercise for hypertrophy. Dumbbells, you're going to get a greater range of motion, hammer strength, but you have to find out from the client what they like. If I come in and I say I want to be able to bench 315, that's strength. If I come in and say I want a bigger chest, that's where I probably get into more dumbbells being first. You have to know your audience and make it fun for them. So at the end, if they really like bench press, I'll say, how much can you bench 135? They'll be like, I have no idea. Well, see what you got. 135, how many times you can do it. Maybe have a little fun. Bet a session. I bet you can't do 20. And see what your client can do, and they won't be able to. Hedge yourself. Make sure you win it. And then at the end, come back, another set of curls. A lot of times for abs and curls, arms, I just leave it blank. I'll just say curls or abs. That's when you can get creative. So we have 3 sets on bench, 3 sets on incline, 3 sets on hammer, 3 sets on chest fly. So now we're at 12. Maybe do 2 or 3 at the end. 12 to 15 total sets would be fine if you've been doing this over here, which was a total of 12. The dips, and I'm talking about bar dips, will put you about 12 to 15 total sets for this workout. So if you were to mirror this, we're going a little heavier. We're adding in some supersets. You're getting more tension, more damage. I don't like doing 20, 25 total sets. It's just too much. But what this program allows you to do is it's a lot more condensed. We're not working out for 2 hours. When we do see programs like this, you just have to ask yourself, how is that person so damn jacked? You go and do this program and you look like a monster. It's because of the steroids, HGH, insulin, all that stuff, the cocktail you're taking. If you're working out for 2 or 3 hours, you're gonna degrade your muscle. We got about 75 minutes before as much as maybe like 20% of our fuel will come from protein. And so if you want to work out for that long because you're 18 and you have no life, that's fine. Have a Gatorade protein intra-workout shake. But for our clients who are paying big bucks and they want just a push day, we're gonna need to condense it. So take a chest and bicep, add in some abs in there. This would take you exactly 1 hour if you were the trainer. You guys have any questions?